And we're live. Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey Charlie, the War Game Chat, our monthly show on YouTube. I'm your host, Mo from Mo's Game Table, and joining me are my two esteemed co-hosts, everybody's favorite Gimp with the Limp, the Gimpy Gamer, Nate Rogers. How's it going, Nate?
Another glorious day in the core, man.
Very good. It's always good to hear. And the War Game Wizard from Oz, Kev Sharp from the Big Board. How's it going, Kev?
It's going great. I'm glad I'm esteemed as opposed to steamed.
I should have said notoriously esteemed.
Yes, notoriously esteemed. Very nice.
So first thing, happy Thanksgiving to both of you and everybody out there watching the show tonight. It's going to be a good week. I'm hoping that everybody's got a short work week and everybody's got a lot of great plans for the holidays, a lot of good food, things like that. So what are you guys' plans?
You know mine already. I'm going to be spending time with family, trying to see Grandpa, make sure he's still doing good. Put out there, you guys, definitely any prayer requests for my wife's grandfather. He had a pretty hard surgery, so he's having a hard go of it. So any well wishes would be appreciated. He's a Vietnam veteran, Green Beret. He's actually real deal, like hardcore, good guy. So hoping the best for him. Be seeing him this week later.
We'll be keeping him in prayers, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to keep those Warriors going, man. He's a tough old guy, and hopefully he'll bounce back and be more ornery than normal.
Yeah.
What about you, Kev? What are your plans?
Quiet one. I think we're hanging out here, and we're going to have part of the extended family in, and we're going to eat out. Actually, we found a place that's actually open because we don't have the capacity. I think there'll be 11 of us, so we'll hang out together, have a little food, and then just chill, shoot some guns, probably because America and America, and goof around. Go for I think some of the boys go fishing, so we'll facilitate that as well. That'll be it.
Very nice. Sounds good.
Good times.
Yeah, that's the best is when you get to rest and relax and just take it easy. I'm going through all of the comments from everybody so far here. Everybody's wishing everybody happy Thanksgiving. They're talking about shipping notices. We got some from MMP, from GMT. I got a shipping notice, and I think it's from VUCA. So I see you got your VUCA package.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nice. So what do you think of that?
So I wasn't going to do a shrink wrap because I think there would have been a couple. And I was like, I'll take a couple pictures and I wasn't even going to open it up. I was going to give it to my wife and say, hey, look, just wrap it up, put it under the tree. And then I picked it up and I gave it to her and then she held it. She goes, that's a game. And I said, okay, you know what? I probably should open this. And then I couldn't help myself. I had the video because it just kept going and going and going. All the setup charts and the information and bazillion 2006 counters, gorgeous maps, beautiful maps, lovely layout on the rule books. I just hope it plays well, right? So it's got good bones, so we'll see.
Well, that's the big key is, it's all the proof's in the pudding, as the saying goes. How well does the game play? And John, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate that. That's
oh my God, the money you get from all these people.
$5.
I'm turning on my donation thing.
If I get another 30 of those, that'll pay for Red Strike.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Pay for the dice in Red Strike.
But yeah, that is a beast of a game. I mean, it's like a 5-inch box and it weighs like, I don't know, 12 pounds or something like that, 14 pounds.
It's massive. Yeah.
How much was that game?
160.
Yeah, 150 something, 160.
Yeah, 150. I think there was a pre-order, which fortunately I was on early pre-order of 160, and then they bumped it up to 175 or something like that.
Yeah.
I would say, given just if you just went on volume alone, it's worth every single penny. If we compare it to other European manufactured games, so same sort of cost structure, potentially.
Sure.
Very high, like great card stock on everything. I thought the font was a little tight on the charts, but on the chart booklet, there's a booklet for the charts, but lots of good workflow stuff in it. The rule book is beautifully laid out. It's just, you probably can't see it because of the lights, but anyway, it's just extraordinarily well done. Oh, I
Yeah.
was blown away with the quality.
Yeah, no, I mean, VUCA is really setting the bar for
Yep.
everybody when it comes to publishing. Their stuff is just top shelf. It really
Right.
is. So
Right.
when you're paying a premium price, you expect a premium product, and their products are premium. And they're
Yep.
already working on errata, because
Yep.
counter to what some people think, errata does exist, especially
Yeah.
when a
Yeah.
complex game. So
Yeah.
they're already compiling those and releasing those already, which is great that they're on top of it.
And a lot of it's clarifications too. I was looking
Sure.
at what the errata was, and then checking in the rules, and it's mainly clarifications, and there's a couple of scenario corrections. But if you looked at, say, GMT specific war, which would be about the same volume of product,
Mhm.
first of all, the box is big enough to put everything back into, whereas Pacific
Yeah.
War is not, and the quality of the components is, I would say, is significantly better even than Pacific War, even though it has a mounted map. I think this is that paperweight. Once you feel it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's got
Oh,
a
yeah.
lovely satin finish to it. Linen finish to it. Actually,
Linen.
yeah, linen. It's like trying to describe a fine wine, right? Yeah, but it's super impressive.
It's
As you can tell, it's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, they really just, like I said, they're setting a new bar, and they're the ones who are gonna. And the best part about it is they're setting a new bar with games that are fantastic, top shelf quality.
mhm.
They're really fun games. They're good games, and these are young guys. These are young guys. This is the
Yeah.
future of wargaming right here with
Yeah.
these guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're going to really blow through the doors that everybody has set, the boundaries that everybody has set. GMT, Compass, Legion, everybody else, and they're
Yep.
blowing through that, and they're going past it already with
Yep.
the quality. So now, if they just bring in a good design stable and have just continually push out more games, man, sky's the limit for those guys.
Yeah. And I think they also have, and I don't know what they'll do with their other titles. I've only seen a couple of other games, but they've moved away from that very heavy pastel.
Mhm.
I would call basically pink and lavender themed stuff,
Sure.
and it's more. This is felt very richly topographical, like a graphic artist style versus something that's
What?
Mhm.
less,
agreed.
less
What are you
less
showing there?
artistic. Yeah. What do you got? That
This
big
is
time?
Crossing the Line.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you got it. Yeah.
1944. And I like the colors. They got really nice counters. Actually,
that one was good. That one was good. The one we played, the Boog River, it was a
Boog
little
River.
little pastel-y for me, a little pink, too much pink and purple and lavender and all that stuff going on. It kind of took me out of the mode. Who else did one? Someone else. It's not just them. I mean, a lot of companies, a lot of the European
Experiment with
companies
different,
been
color.
experimenting with different
Mhm.
palettes, and I'm much for the more traditional stuff. Not because just because it looks better, I think, anyway. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
And it feels more military.
Yeah, and that's something also that we have the inherent bias because this is what we're used to and this is what we expect.
Sure.
So that's also part of it. And part of the thing with them is maybe changing some of those preconceived notions a little bit with a different color palette until they find the ones that really, really click, and then they'll stick with that.
Yep.
And then also, I like that it gives each game its own unique flavor and feel to it, its own identity by having a different look. So that's good for them. But congrats to them. And Eves did a great job with that game. And really, really stoked for him that game is out. Everybody's getting it. Everybody's excited. And it's like the hot thing right now. So good for him.
It really is. Yeah. There's lots of posts about it. Yeah.
Did you say it does or doesn't have a mounted map?
Does not.
It does not. It's all paper maps, but they're very heavy, paperweight and high quality.
Kind of like Lock and Load's paper maps?
I would say no. I would say more like
quality.
More like
the Compass one that they just released.
Thin Red Line.
Thin Red Line. Okay, so you got that. They've got that kind of coating on it too.
That kind of similar coating, but not the same. But that kind of weight. And yes, so Tobruk would be a great example of the higher quality paper that Compass did. Yeah.
Okay. Good. No, that's really good. Again, that's all those things add up to that $150, $160, $175 price tag.
Yeah.
You're getting a premium game in all aspects. You're getting a complex game, and you're getting complex components, but you're getting upper level components.
Components great and all that, but I've kind of found myself when it comes to some of those bigger games, why I love them, and I'll look at my shelf and I think, oh my God, I want to pull that out. That drive to pull out a game that has 2,000 counters in it, knowing that it's going to take you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours just to set up the initial counters, right? The more I war a game, the less I have that drive. Just sometimes you just do not have it in you to get some of those bigger games out.
Play a magazine game.
Yeah.
Or a folio game or something smaller.
Yeah, or a single mapper. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think there's phases, right? I better stay attached to monster games because I made my wife let me have the equivalent of 2 bedrooms to do it in. So there better be a lot of monster gaming or I'm in a lot of trouble. So.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's every game has a time and a place. And when you're going to sit down and it's like 2 hours before bed, you're going to go, what do I play? Do I play Red Strike or do I play, something like the Moog or something like that? It's like, well, I'm going to get this. It's got 80 counters. This has 2,000. Okay. That one, unless I'm going to play it tomorrow, I'll take the next 2 hours to set up tomorrow's scenario. I'm going to play this small game,
Yeah. And they also, one of the cool things with that VUCA thing, not to go on about it, but I mean, it has multiple scenarios, but also discrete maps for those individual scenarios as well. For some of them, anyway. For the Full Gap, I know there's a unique map for them for that as well. So it's nice.
No, that's true. It's a good point. So we got. I'm going to catch up on comments here, Nate. If you wanted to say something, go ahead. I'm going to catch up on comments.
I was looking at John saying I need a game table to leave my game set up on. I've got 2. Right?
Nice.
And I still can't. Well, technically, I got 3, but one of them's getting taken down. But the way I have my office set up, it's 2 longer tables along the edges of the room, in kind of an L shape. And to bring out some of these games, you have to bring them together in the rectangle shape to be able to get the whole game laid out. So I'm assuming Red Strike would probably be one of those. Thunder in the East was like that, right? It took up the entire table. What's the Civil War one? The
In Magnificent Style. No, not that one. That was the trigger one. It was the Most Fearful Sacrifice.
The Most Fearful Sacrifice. That's it. Yeah, you want to set out that whole thing. I've got to redo my office, right? I've got to tear everything down, move all the tables, set all the tablecloths back up to put it up. Plus, it slows me down because I can only have one game up, so I solely have to focus on just that until I get it done. If we move again, which we're definitely going to, I'm going to pull a Kevin and get a spot that's designated just for my gaming, and it's going to be the biggest room in the house.
Nice.
After that, she can have the rest. All the other stuff, she can have that. I just want my gaming spot with room enough to set up enough tables.
Right.
So I don't worry about moving yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my wife Kelly said to me, we were talking about bookcases and stuff in my office, and I was saying, I just want to get these inexpensive IKEA things and change out all this because we got some really nice bookcases for super cheap. These things right behind me from a friend, and they're apparently very expensive. And I was like, I want to get rid of them. I just want to get simple. She's like, we have basically 4 rooms in this house, and yours is one of them. And we are not putting cheap shit in our house. You're going to use those bookcases whether you like it or not. I went, yes, ma'am.
So John is saying that we're sounding like Aardwolf, the rule book made from the finest mulberry silk and buffed cotton linen paper. It's like, well,
I'm
you know
sorry.
what though? It's not going to be top shelf though. The most top shelf, unless the rule book is wrapped in rich Corinthian leather.
Yes. Deadpool.
I can't say it like Ricardo does, but Pink German Africa or German units in Africa Corps, Battle of the Bulge. Yes,
exactly. Yeah, the old games, right? Stalingrad, the old Stalingrad game had pink counters as well, as did D-Day, Avalon Hill.
So John is saying that your background, turn off your background, you're pixelating badly.
Yeah, my office is a mess though.
No, that's fine.
Let's see if I can find a different one that's not as bad.
Not as bad, but less offensive. So, there we go. Brick wall. Here we go. We got one for you. Oh, there you go. Now you look all fancy schmancy. Look at that big dollars you got.
Yeah, I love the piano.
See, my office is a mess, so I can't do that.
Nordic is saying that he was trying to set up Hitler's Last Gamble and pulling his hair out because the maps wouldn't line up and the Plexi wouldn't either. Makes me want to just play one map. Lexi has a tendency to do that, which is why it's always good to have as many sizes and shapes even as you can.
Yep.
Because it starts becoming a problem when you get into bigger maps. And speaking of big maps, I want to talk about real quickly. One of the big ones that really impressed me was at Compass Expo. The guys from the Third World War Project, as I'm calling it, they had the tables laid out and they had all the maps of the upcoming games.
Oh, wow.
The thing like encompasses the freaking world. I mean, I was like, you start off over here and you're going through the what was going to be called the Manchurian front. I think it's like Southeast Asia front or something now, or the East Asia front, and you move further east and you go through the Middle East, and then you just work your way all the way around to the Med, and it's just like really impressive. And then and that was just 3 giant tables that were set up and up against the wall. I was like, okay, so the other table right there would be the existing maps. You'd literally have like a global campaign that you can have with all of the maps set up and everybody playing. I could see like 20 people playing this thing.
That'd be awesome.
It really is cool. So hopefully we'll see that in the next few years, see it all come to realization. And maybe at a con, we'll see the whole Smash being played, which would be fantastic. That was really impressive. They're doing a great job with that. East Asia front. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. So that's the name of that one. So it is Thanksgiving week, and we'll start off with, what are you guys thankful for from a Grog standpoint, from wargaming? What are you thankful about with wargaming?
I'm thankful for U-Boat. I don't know what my life would be like without that game to complete it. Kevin's favorite game of all time. The best war game map.
He doesn't realize he's muted.
Why you gotta mute me, man? I was my ode to the best war game that ever existed.
I got to second that. If it wasn't for Eurogame designers really just lifting the entire wargaming hobby up and showing us the error of our ways, where would we be as wargamers today? That's what I'm thankful for. I mean, really.
The greatest map ever.
Yeah.
Ever. But
supposedly that won't happen again, but we'll see about that one.
Do you have a serious thankful thing, or are you just busting everybody's balls?
I mean, just the usual shit that, people usually say, family and kids and all that crap, but they're all fighting in the distance right now. And that thankfulness is just going down with every screen. I'm like crossing my fingers that they'll grow into teenagers and start getting to where they want to ignore daddy.
Nordic goes, we need to set up every single East Front series game map and run the entire Barbarossa campaign
in parallel
down to the platoon level.
Yeah.
The entire Barbarossa campaign at the platoon level. We'll get a convention of like 300 people to play, 150 versus 150.
Yeah.
It'll be a 6-month-long convention.
It'll be like a massively multiplayer PC game, right?
Exactly.
But it'll be at a con, and when your unit dies, you have to go home.
John, I'm thankful my brother-in-law and his wife decided to stay home for Thanksgiving. I said war games, not.
Yeah, so I'll be serious for a second. So I'm actually, so we'll build on the all the plethora of positive platitudes for VUCA, but I'm thankful for the designers that we are starting to see evolve, produce multiple games a year, work with different and new publishers who are lifting their game in terms of publishing quality, both from a component standpoint and end product playableness, right? But mostly thankful for the designers, because I think they're giving us so much more choice, so that for us to, I was just looking at the 30 games I've played this year so far, right? Everything from the White Tribe Rhodesian War through to Last Chance of Victory, Battle of Gettysburg, Guadalcanal, Hannibal, the Italian Campaign, The Killing Ground, The Fall of Tobruk, Blade and Bow, Next War Iran, First Victories, By Iron and Blood, over and over, combat, all these things from man to man to divisional strategic stuff. So it's just a amazing time to be a war gamer and a person who's fascinated and interested in history and in military history. So I'm thankful for that, and in particular, I think for the designers.
Yeah, 100%. I agree on that. And the publishers, the designers, the publishers,
Playtesters, right?
the playtesters, the unsung heroes, the playtesters, the
Mm.
proofers, everything else, the people that do the work behind the scenes, and all that stuff. It really culminates in the final product that we have on our tables. And we are living in a there was the golden age of wargaming. Everybody looks back fondly to the SBI days and all that stuff, which is great. But it was also a golden age in our lives too, because we were younger. We didn't have the responsibilities we had now. We had a lot more free time, things like that. We didn't worry about eating pizza and drinking soda at the table when you're playing a war game. Now it's like a beating offense because these are not cheap games. Right. You think of all these things, and then the age of the internet now, with all that going on, not only do we have all these games, we can play them electronically. You play them digitally through Vassal, through Tabletop Simulator, or whatever. You can watch people playing and be over the shoulder, hanging out, drinking whiskey, and enjoying the social gathering without having to be there. And you could be with people across the world. So I think to spin off what you're saying, the designers, the publishers, all those people making these things happen, I would say the internet, YouTube, and all these digital gaming capabilities that we have now for bringing us all together across the world. I think that is fantastic. And even though the bad word that I'm not going to say a few years ago that happened that kept everybody at home, it was a good thing in a way too, because it opened up a lot more people to digital gaming, and it made more people take notice of it and kind of get together in social gatherings like this instead of in person. You're doing it virtually. Nate, your turn.
To touch on what you said there, you kind of, it's not that I disagree, but part of it is you
always got to be the contrary voice.
No, you lose that human touch, that
you really want me to touch you?
That's what your wife is for, Gimpy.
Really gotta just take it there. That having the person actually sitting across from you, having the game, playing out with them. Yeah, it's great to play it over Vassal or Tabletop Simulator or whatever it is that you're using. But I think back to the old days where I was playing Blood Bowl with some buddies or Warhammer or whatever the hell. Yes, I know. I scooted forward. I think I fixed the issue. Hopefully that's not the problem. But I do miss those days where it was easy to just go to a game store and pick up a game. There'd always be someone there, and it's just not like that like it used to be. So many times now that I've gone to my local store, I mean, they rarely have a full store. When I go in once a week, he does homeschool. He has the homeschool kids come in and have like a social day so they can kind of interact with other kids. But that's one of the few times that I'll see it actually packed. That and the Magic dorks still show up on Friday nights. But the
Magic dorks that keep the stores open.
Well, he doesn't sell as much. He's the one that I told you about. He got a job working for MMP.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the Magic, believe it or not, is what keeps those stores going. Wow, they drop a lot of money into that game.
In my area, though, we've actually got 3 local game stores. One of them closed, but they were kind of shady. They gouge people all the time. And the 3 that are still open, he's one of the only ones that actually sells war games. He has his own actual section because he's big into wargaming. That's dedicated to it, and he's got the smallest store. The other 2 stores are a whole lot bigger, and they'll have war games mixed in with the general run-of-the-mill stuff. So it's very hard to find those games. But go to his store, he's actually got multiple shelves of real, like GMT, Compass, DVG, lock and... No, he doesn't have lock and load. I tried to get him to pick it up. That was one of the few that he doesn't have. Anyway, what am I thankful for? I'm thankful for the 20th Air
U-boat
on the table right now. Having a lot of fun with that. I found out that it is, for those of you guys who have seen it when they did the Kickstarter, it was 8th Air Force and 20th Air Force. And I kind of figured they were the same game, just set in different theaters, right? So it was European theater and Pacific theater. And it's actually not. They really did innovate. The games do play differently, much more so than I would expect. As in the 8th Air Force, it was a bombing campaign trying to end the war with Germany. And with 20th Air Force, they're bombing Japan. So you're trying to stop, Operation what was the invasion of Japan called? The Operation
Olympic.
Olympic, yeah.
Okay, yeah. You're trying to prevent Operation Olympic, and your goal is actually to drop the A bomb or to incinerate enough cities to reduce the Japanese will to fight to end the war. So the games actually play completely differently, even though they have the same skeletal structure, right? So it's nice to see a publisher that can do that, that have games that have the same premise, that you're running a bombing campaign, but have them play completely different and have it be relevant to the campaign that's actually who the hell's talking about touching me?
You're the one that said that before. You opened that door, and now you're getting it thrown in your face. You were like, without in-person gaming, you don't have that touch. You knew that was going to open it all up. So there you go.
I okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's been a lot of fun, and it has been nice to see different types of gaming come out. I've got one that I'm going to touch on. It's named Legion, if I remember right. No, Uprising, which I had mentioned before. It's a real-time strategy brought down to a board game. I don't know that you guys would call it a war game, but I would call it a war game. Area control, using units, producing them. It's just fictional. Yeah, that is Gamer's Armor.
Yes.
Is he in my area? Yeah, Gamer's Armor. If you're in my area, you'll know that Gamer's Armor is one of the only places you can actually pick up.
Look who it is. You were just talking about his game.
Yeah, I was Bob. I was just talking about your game, buddy.
Yeah.
I was saying all this bad stuff and warning people off of it.
Saying U-Boat is so much better. We're just going to keep beating U-Boat to death.
But look, I'd sent him an email the other day. So here to prove it. Here, look, right there.
There you go. Nice.
It's over on the table over here, just like I promised you. And it will be filmed in the next few days. So I'm looking forward to getting that played. Oh, and for those of you guys who haven't seen it, definitely check out the series I'm doing on A&A, Axis and Allies, Arnhem, the Battle for Market Garden. I like all these dumb A&A games, Axis and Allies. To me, it's just cool to see all the little tiny miniatures spread across the board. And that company Cadet Games is putting out a whole bunch of games that are more than just the usual what you would think of when you say Axis and Allies. So he's actually doing specific battles like Market Garden. He's doing one on the Bulge that's getting ready to come out. Mo, I showed you some of that, the Vietnam one that he did.
Yes.
Nguyen San or something like that. So he covers Vietnam and World War II.
Okay, so hang on a second. So without diving into the weeds on these Axis and Allies titles, how was the game from a battle or operation perspective? How's it different than Axis and Allies normal on the world map? And then try not to bore me with it because I'm I'm super excited about it. I'm just curious.
You just talk about like the actual combat itself. How's
is it the same combat and all that sort of stuff, or is it a different set of rules, or what's
with the exception of some basic modifiers, like if it's airborne or something like that, or specific supply for artillery type rules. It's going to be your basic. Infantry have a 2 value, tanks have a 3.
Right. Roll a d6 and there you go. Right.
Exactly. Roll a d6, add your total value, compare it to the defender's d6 plus total value, and then you compare that on the combat results table. The difference is how many hits get applied.
Yep. Okay. Got it. Good. Cool. Okay.
So, yeah, that same basic premise, just in different theaters. Market Garden, Battle Bulge.
And so John Sy was saying that is 20th Air Force worth getting? I saw the ads for these after you told me about them, but I didn't pull the trigger to try and buy them yet. So what's the story? I know you said, are they first of all, I know the designers here, so are they good? Is the gameplay good?
Yeah. The
no pressure. No pressure.
No pressure.
I'm trying to think of what I can compare it to.
Is it like RAF Britain or something, or is it?
It's similar in a fashion. You have multiple lanes, and on each one of those lanes, you're going to have targets, and it's going to be either major or minor targets, and you have to destroy so many targets to win the game. Right.
Okay.
The goal of 20th is you've got to take out the minor cities, which, if I remember right, it's 13. But you can't start targeting the minor targets like Hiroshima and Nagasaki until you've taken out the major targets like Tokyo. And you have a combination of different bombers that you can use doing like incendiary attacks or traditional bombing attacks to take them out. But you have enemy fighters that will be in those lanes, and there's an AI system on how they will deploy. And
Sure.
there's
Okay. So it's like Pickett's charge for airplanes.
I haven't played Pickett's Charge.
Okay.
So
I mean, you're going on these deep bombing runs.
You're kind of pushing your luck to move through these things to take out the cities and choose where to allocate your resources and stuff like that. Is that right?
Yeah, basically, and working on research so you can develop the A bomb to use against specific targets.
I'll have to check it out.
Not as much push your luck as hit the right targets at the right time, but occasionally you will have a target that you don't have a choice, but that's more rare. Usually you get to pick what lane you're going to be in.
Yeah. So now this one, I'm going to comment on here first before you give us your opinion of 20th Air Force, just because I have the Afghanistan and Vietnam games, and they're folio games. Now, with that said, they're folio games with box game quality, components. So if the box game components are as good or better as I would expect, they're going to be at least as good, if not better. They're going to be fantastic. So what's your opinion on the box quality? So not the quality of the box, but quality of components.
I'm showing the box to show how thin it is. So that gives you an idea that, folio-esque in that it's not a huge amount of supplies. It has laser cut counters. So that's the only thing that might bother people.
Oh, okay. Kind of chocolatey.
Yeah. For me,
it smells like barbecue. Makes me hungry.
To me, they make me think of prototype or early review copies, because usually those are laser cut. So I always think I'm getting something special, ahead of time when I have a laser cut counter.
But Gimpy, you are special.
I was going to say he is
special. I want you to know that. Okay.
It is a little bit of a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. Get a baby wipe or something and wipe down the counter sheets when you get them.
He's not even getting it.
Great. He's ignoring us.
It's like taking the piss out of this
I tune you guys out. I've got young kids. I can tune stuff out. What? I'm special?
No, carry on. No, you're doing a great job. Keep talking, really.
I'm just messing with you, dude.
Why do you have me muted, dick?
Because I know it's going to get you to flip out a second, so it's always fun. I'm just flushing your balls, dude.
You guys are lucky you're in Texas. I'd shoot you. I swear to God.
Hey, man, we're old. Don't pick on us.
Yeah.
So continue. Seriously.
Where was I when you cut me off? When you muted me?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Okay. As far as the component quality,
you were talking about component quality
for the 20th. It's perfectly fine. You got a handful of player aids, card stock, so thick enough. Mounted board, which is actually nice. And the only thing is, like I said, laser cut counter, so you need to use a baby wipe or something when you get them to.
That's not a big deal.
Down. They can be a little edgy when you punch them out because it's that thicker wood-esque laser cut, right? So you might want to trim the edges a little bit. Honestly, I didn't have that big a problem with it. So the components are perfectly fine.
What, did you get a paper cut or something? You okay?
No, just when you punch those out, how to be dark in some places, and I'll have that little white spot.
Yeah.
Use a little brown marker to fill it in. I don't know. I'm anal about that. I like to have all the edges.
No, I know what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah.
In the same way.
But the component quality is great for the game.
And the gameplay is good. So, I mean, it sounds like a winner.
Well, they're cost effective too, because Kickstarter was like $40 for each.
Right. Johnson just asked if he'd played.
Well, no, he's asking if anybody else plays because he doesn't trust your opinion, Gimpy.
I will have a video up showing the game here soon. But if you want to see what it's like, I've already got one up showing 8th Air Force, and they're both very similar. Next
time you mute Gimpy, you need to set up a gambling ring to bet on how pissed he will get.
That's great. I love this Nordic Maelstrom guy. It's funny.
Yeah, he knows us all too well already. Yeah, we do this all in good fun. Gimpy's like my little brother. I love him, but like little brothers, you got to bust their balls.
Little
So
brother,
he's not.
kick
He's
your
not my.
ass,
He's not
man.
my little brother. He's just annoying.
Well, he's my little brother because he's a brother Marine and he's younger than me. So
Hoorah.
Everyone's younger than you too.
Hey,
that's
hey.
not true.
Settle
that's not
down,
true.
okay? Settle down with the age
Yeah.
jokes.
What are you talking
Okay.
about, Kev? Your son is like my age.
No, you're in your 30s, jackass.
40.
No, I'm actually in my 40s.
Are you really?
Yeah, I
Man,
just turned
you
42.
You behave
So
like
now
a
you are officially old.
You behave like a
I've
30.
been old.
My son's
Everything
23.
hurts when I
My
wake
son's
up.
23. What are you talking about?
See? We're-
So
Yeah,
now
he's
you
not
have
old.
some
That's
backing
not
here
old.
from Stacking Limit. He says that he has played it and he thought it was really fun solo. So there you go.
Shit.
Oh, mad skills.
What did you do now?
I have a fidget toy I always fidget with during the shows, and I dropped it.
Don't fidget the fidget toy.
I'm a fidgeter.
It gives him something to do with his hands, apparently,
Yeah,
to be
well,
more
it's the-
family friendly.
It's the only thing you can find. Yeah.
Dick.
Oh boy. So, and here we go. And this is why we can't have nice things, Gimpy.
Yeah, because Gippy's always breaking them.
So Bob's saying that Daniel Naomi has played it a bunch and has some videos too on his World War II solitaire board game channel. So if you're curious,
I know
John,
that
you're
guy.
going to go check that out and see the videos, and you can see some play, see if you like it.
Got to go check out Danny Boy's channel now.
There you go. Fidget toy. Sure. So we'll come back to some more thankful things, give everybody a chance to think of some more, and of course in the audience as well. But one of the other things I want to talk about is Compass Expo when I was just there. And really good time. It was great to see. You had pointed out, Kev, about Gil's game, Kaiser's High Sea Fleet. And the components look really good on it. I saw it there as well, the proof copy, and it was really, really good. It's a fun game. I played it last year against John. He was actually here from the Philippines, and we sat down and played. And he didn't listen to my coaching because I guess he thought I was trying to make him, to try to throw off his game. But I was like, dude, you got to be more aggressive. And he wouldn't come out and fight. And he was just kind of turtling and taking his time coming out. And then when he'd come out and fight, it was not going well. And then I'm like, dude, you got to be more aggressive. Come out and fight. Come out and fight. And then at the end, he's like, I learned something from this game. And I was like, what's that? He goes, I got to be more aggressive. So, it was fun, but it's a neat game. And I'm really happy for Gil. It's going to be a good one to get. And that should be available pretty soon. So
Right.
I think after the first of the year, sometime in the first quarter. Then I saw and sat down. Finally got to meet Bruce Maxwell, which was a real treat. I love to sit down and just chat with him for a while. And then we played Aaron Armour, which is going to be amazing. It really is. Yeah, Kev, you and I have talked back and forth a couple times about the 150-page rule book. And yeah, it's going to be something that's going to scare some people. But when you break it down, Bruce had explained it several times to different people. There's really about 60 pages of actual rules in the book.
Right.
When you take out all the support stuff, there's a lot of illustrated examples in the game, in the rule book. So that's also going to, add to the page count. And anybody who's read any of Bruce's rule books knows that he's very verbose. So he tries to eliminate edge cases and confusion.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine him, Bruce, being verbose. But carry on.
Yeah, he's not really a talkative guy.
Nah, quiet.
Not at all.
He's a little wallflower.
Yeah, he just kind of just sits there and says nothing. But the thing I liked about it, though, was sitting down and playing was the whole idea is you've got your 3 units, 3 counters per unit. It's regiment company scale and your company scale essentially. But you have your 3 counters that you move around the board. And this is where he calls it the 3-card monte because you put your strength counter underneath them. You can have, like, as I say, none to 9 because it's 9 steps.
Right.
So you can have all 3 units could have, or 3 counters could have 3 steps each. One could have 8, one could have 1, one could be a dummy. You could have 9 and 2 dummies. You could have 5, 4 and a dummy, whatever. You could break it up however you want, which is the thing that's cool because now you're taking away that God mode and you're adding in some fog of war and now you can try to play feints and misdirection on people by, hey, we're really pushing this way. Oh man, I got to send all my guys over there because he's going to push through here.
Right.
And then you push through the other way, completely. And you're doing it with units that are seen but not seen because they're
And,
there.
and
You've
you
got to
can
go out and recon.
change those
Yes.
allocations along the way as well. So you're not fixed
Yes.
the entire game. You can change that, and
Yeah.
that really messes with people's heads.
Hold on,
Yes.
flesh that out. Flesh that out. So is it like a number counter, like 0
Yeah.
to 9?
Yeah.
Yep.
basically.
You just
And
turn them.
underneath the counter hidden.
Yes.
But
Yep.
let's say you had a 9 underneath it the whole time. You could just change that out to a 1 randomly?
No,
Not randomly. There's a
they have to be
process.
together. Yeah, there's a process. They have to be together, and then you can you can split your forces a little more evenly, or however you want to do it. If you want to misdirect a different way, you can combine, make a 9, and then take a dummy and run it off this way. Things like that.
All right. So you kind of break off a small piece to make him think it's a bigger piece than it is.
So imagine it's a division, and there are 3 regiments, and then each regiment has a marker underneath it. And if those regiments are either adjacent to each other or within a certain range of the HQ, or however it works, I forget how it is now. I played the old version 5-6 times. It's a freaking awesome game.
Yeah.
We had a few little issues with the rules here and there, but we got them all sorted out. So you can adjust in a certain step in the sequence of play. You can just adjust what the strength allocations are. It's like saying, hey, Battalion X, go join Battalion Regiment Y for the next 24 hours, and so off you go, and it's that type of thing, right? And so, and that's all hidden from you, and so you don't know what you're facing, nor do you as the attacker, you don't know what you're facing either. So you might have some sort of what would be a blocking unit ends up being, it's actually an entire division, right? And you get your ass handed to you, and because you've just run up with recon, right? The equivalent of recon. So it's really cool like that. Another good thing, Mo, I think the original rule book was 32 or 35 pages long, and the advanced rules added another 10 or 15, 20 pages. So it's roughly the same size as what you're saying. It's just that plus examples and his
more fleshed out. Yeah. It's much more fleshed out, and things are really tightened up in the wording, which is kind of funny. It sounds tightened up, but it's, more expanded, but that's the thing that's really cool. And then the other part of it is, to kind of spin off what you were just saying, you can have your 3 counters, and you can run off 2 this way. They can be dummies, and you're signaling the intent that this is a reconnaissance force or 2 reconnaissance forces or the main effort. And then you've got 9 under this counter, and it's just tooling off this way. Now you're going to be out of command because you're outside of 3 hexes. You got to be within 3 hexes, but maybe that's what you're willing to risk or something at that point. The other thing too that is cool is reconnaissance is big. I can take a look at Kev's unit because I'm close enough. I'm within command range. I've got command points. I'm going to spend a command point, roll to recon the unit, and I fail. I just pissed away that point to try to take a look at what he's got. Now I've got to run a reconnaissance unit or whatever strength force I want to put up there to try to unmask him by saying, "Hey, show me what you are," and then he pulls it off the map and says, "That's a dummy." Or it's 1 strength.
So this is
engaged in
80s
combat,
though, right?
Yes,
like the 80s time frame.
Yep.
Now, that throws me then when you're saying outside of 3 hexes, losing command radius or whatnot, and I don't agree with that because from whatever time period on, definitely in the 80s, we have radio communications. Your units weren't going to be out of the chain of command.
Tin cans and strings.
No,
we didn't have strings long enough.
We had radios that were perfectly good enough back in the 80s.
It's a command control. Command control metaphor.
Sure, that's exactly what it is, because that's what this game is really emulating the most, is the operational aspects of command and control. And I think it's going to be cool. Now you add into it the solitaire aspect that has been created for this version.
I was going to ask you about that.
That you can play where you get randomized enemies. You don't know what their strength is. It just pops up. Well, you can play it, and this is the way that everybody who has played the game prefers to play it, where you both play that way. So you think you've got this much, you think you got a 5 and a 4 over here. You may not, because reports may have come in that they're headed that way. This is the command and control confusion aspect, which I think is really cool. But you only have a 4 and a 3, or a 4 and a 4, or a 4 and a 2, because traffic jam, Louis get lost, bad captain, loses, can't do shit on land nav. He goes the wrong road. He don't get there in time for this attack. So I think that's really cool, because everybody thinks that in the military, this, Nate. Oh yeah, it's just like clockwork. I'm going to tell them to get there. They're going to get there. They're going to fight. No, they don't always get there. They don't get there in good shape either. They may run out of gas.
And it could be these are not Marines, okay? So these are just like regular Army guys. So it's okay.
When I was deployed, and they knew always where we were, down to the minute.
Well, you're talking a different era too.
And I understand.
Blue Force Tracker was newer. Yeah.
Exactly. Every one of our vehicles had either a Blue Force Tracker or something close to it. None of our convoys ever went out without something like that. So they could nail us down to a 10-digit the longitude, latitude. They could nail us down to a very
grid.
Yeah, to the grid within a meter of where we were. Right.
Yeah.
We're not going to get lost. And that's where I'm kind of getting thrown where you're talking about that.
Because in the 80s, we were still doing land navigation with a map and a compass.
Yeah.
We didn't have GPS.
Know how to do that. You're not going to lose a battalion.
You could lose people a lot easier than you think. By lose, that means that they're not at the LOD yet. They're not ready to jump off in the attack.
And it's also
it's an abstract way of adding
it's an abstract way of doing it, but it's not just radio communications. And radio communications have issues with valleys and electronic interference and jamming and all that sort of stuff. So
exactly.
And it's kind of like a stupidity factor too. All you need is one dumbass major going, "Oh no, keep going." All right. I mean, some guy who's a knucklehead
has the wrong map in his hand and he goes down the wrong road because he's looking at the wrong map and he's like, "Oh shit."
Ever seen Band of Brothers? What the hell are you doing there?
Yeah. And that's another part of this too.
That's what we're seeing in Ukraine, right? Is the more of modern world clashing. And prior to that, all we saw was the first world fighting the third world, right? And the difference in it. When I was deployed, we could overpower anything. We could jam all their signals if we wanted to. Right.
You're not even fighting it. You're fighting a like fourth tier, not even nowhere near peer. That's not even near peer.
But we were outnumbered at all times. They always outnumbered us.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But
they didn't have any of the tech.
Made up for it.
But you guys were meaner, and that's what counted the most.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
you're mean.
Meaner though. I was a lot different when I was 21, 22, 23 years old than I am now.
Well, all were.
Done a lot of things differently.
Yeah. But the thing is, you have to remember in the 80s, the technology was different. And like Kev was saying, you have all these issues, which I definitely experienced as well, where you have the radio drop-offs when you get into valleys and things like that. Then there's EW in the game as well. You get up on a unit, one of the first things you do is jam. So you can stop them from employing artillery and you can drop arty on them and then you can hammer them, with your main guns or whatever. So there's a lot of little aspects to it. And I'm just scratching the surface of all the things that you can do in the game. And I was really impressed. I mean, it looks beautiful.
I'm with you.
Quality's great. Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic game.
When you brought up that part about the randomized your units and not being able to decide where your factors were, that's where I'm kind of like, I get the random enemy. Okay, you don't know where the enemy is, but you're going to know where your own damn
playing solitaire. That's where that's going to come in and be a great thing. Now, when you're playing, like say you and I were playing face to face because you want to be touched, we can be playing face to face, and we can both use that aspect of the game. So that way, you don't know what you've got, I don't know what I've got, and we don't know what each other has, which is really adding that layer of an extra layer of friction for you as the commander. For you and me as a commander, which I think is pretty cool.
That sounds good. I really want to try this one. Do they have a vassal module ready to go?
Not yet.
Yeah, poke at them. See if they can
get
I don't know anything about vassal modules.
Yeah. They have a playtest vassal module. But...
There is a playtest vassal module. There's a vassal module that will be used for the video series that Bruce and I are going to do for that game. So we're going to do that. And we're also going to do some videos. Danny, his team, and me, we're going to do some videos for The Last Gamble. And that.
So what did you see? Tell me more about that, because I just pre-ordered that. So.
That is, if you love the Bulge, if you're a Bulge fan. I knew you were going to go there, Gimpy. That's why I said it that way, because you were talking about touching, and I figured, I'll just give it to you here.
I couldn't help it, man. It's so easy.
Yeah, I know.
So obviously 40.
How childish this show is, but no. If you're into the Battle of the Bulge, Danny is one of the leading guys on it. He's written books on it, things like that.
Yeah.
he knows his game. This is not just a reworking of the game. It's a redo of the game, not a redo of the game. It's a reworking of the game. And the thing that I was impressed the most with was, and it's going to sound funny, but movement is going to be it's going to be a game within a game, because all of your stacking is held at 2 counters per hex, and you got to work your way through getting your units through the harsh terrain that's there. There's severe terrain, things like that, which are going to be difficult.
No pass-throughs, right?
And you can't just go through them. Stacking is always in effect. So if you have 3 hexes you got to get through, they can only have 1 hex each, or 1 counter in each hex for you to get your counter through, as long as you pay the movement points. And that is going to be, some people are going to go, oh man, this sucks. No, you have to embrace it for what it is. This was the environment there. This is the challenges that the commanders there had to face. So I think that is fantastic the way he's replicated that in the game. And it's going to, like I said, be a game within a game. And I said to him, we need to do one video just on movement. And we should title it "Movement is a Bitch," because that's what it sounds like it's going to be. And he laughed and he says, that's exactly what movement in this game is. It's a real bitch, because you have to take so many things into account. So you're dealing with the logistical challenges of tackling the terrain to get into the fight. And I think that is going to be really interesting to see in person and in play. The game itself is just amazing quality. There's so much you're getting in the box. All the books that are the additional books that come with the game, aside from the rule book, the scenario book, things like that, you're getting a background book on the bulge. And the thing that's cool is he's showing different areas, like pictures of the areas that you can match up to places on the map. So you can say, why is this severe terrain here? Why is it so hard to move through this hex? You look at it and you see the undulating hills and you're like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
It sucks.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
So it's pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Bruno was playing
he was
as
there,
well,
yeah.
and checking it out. So that's pretty cool. He's an aficionado of the bulge.
Yes, the two of them together, it was just like, there's so much brain power here on the Battle of the Bulge. It's not even funny.
And I'm assuming Bruno liked what he saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, he was happy with it.
Yeah, that's cool. 2 different visions of the game, but
yes,
of the battle, I should say.
And then I did get to play Second Fallujah with
Aaron. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Aaron Dennis. We played, and fun game. Liked it. Hated my dice, and I even said during this thing, if I roll this again, I rolled snake eyes so many times it wasn't even funny. Everybody that was watching the game was like, this is ridiculous. And Aaron just kept laughing. He's like, I'm rolling fine with these dice. I said, if I roll snake eyes one more time, I'm going to execute these dice. Sure enough, I rolled snake eyes. I grabbed him to go out. He goes, don't take my dice away. And I was like, I was going to freaking Kev Sharp these sons of bitches right here. I was going to public execution them, and I was going to freaking record it and post it on my YouTube channel.
That's funny.
Which side were you playing as? The Marines?
I was the Marines. The thing that what screwed me on that was, and it was just bad luck, but there's 7 or 8 turns in that game. 3 or 4 turns I rolled snake eyes.
Wow.
Like the second or third, on either the second or third impulse. That doesn't sound too bad. It's like, oh, that's just a shitty roll in combat. No, it's actually really bad, because if you roll equal to or less than the current impulse, the turn is over. Yeah. So I literally ended 3 or 4 turns out of a 7-turn game.
And see, that's really bad for the Marines.
Yes.
The Marines need the time.
You need the time. Yeah, exactly. So I kind of screwed myself out of anywhere between 10 and 20 impulses at least, which hurt me. And I couldn't get through Jolan. I got down the northeast side of the map fine. I went down all the way down into Route 10. I was starting to make good progress and taking some objectives there. But you have to get through Jolan first, which has the harshest terrain, and also that's the most built up area. That's why you got to punch through there first. That's what the Marines did. In actuality, they punch right through there, and you have to get through there to get to Route 10 and get all the major objectives there. But I couldn't get through because he had built it up, and I kept bad rolls, and I was just like, oh, that's the end of that turn. Okay, he gets to do more to prep himself every time I can't punch through. So I was like, damn it. But it's a fun game, and we're going to play again. Probably through Vassal, and I want to play again Solitaire and Opposed as well.
Yeah,
I like it.
Who publishes that?
That was from
was
Paper
Paper
Wars. That was
Paper Wars,
Compass
okay.
through Paper Wars.
I may have
Steve
to
did a great
check
job
that
of replicating it, and there's a vassal we can play if anybody
Okay.
wants to play.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it. Is that Newberg? Steve Newberg?
No, Steve Liskey.
Liskey. Okay, right.
Yeah.
It's
And
a really good game. I think it's
Yeah.
better solitaire than Heads Up, though. I think it's almost built for solitaire.
it can be, but I think I want to play both sides because there's some ideas I have for playing as the insurgents, and there's other ideas that I have as playing as the Marines. I mean, the Marines is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Literally bullet in China shop. Just punch through as hard and as fast as you can.
Now,
Just take
There's
objective.
one part, though, that I didn't agree with, and
Okay.
help me flesh this rule out. It's the one about, I believe it's the areas that have the mosque in it that requires you to have the Iraqi special forces
Yeah.
with you, right? And I didn't agree with that because we didn't operate that way, at least not while I was there. And you basically took a hit to your victory points
You can do that.
if you attacked it without the Iraqi special forces. And you only had a few of those pieces anyway. It was like 6 that were in
6
your
or
force.
8, something like that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot.
So you
because-
don't have a lot. You need them for everything the way the rules are designed. And there weren't that many of the guys in the first place. And I think I operated with those guys once
Right.
while I was there. We just did not worry about them. It shouldn't be a hit to your political points. To not
It
have
will
those
be with the
huge
Western
guys.
media, with the way Western media is and the political implications. It'll always have an impact. So that's how we model that in the game. So I agree with that it was in there. It has to be a detriment. Otherwise you just run rampant anywhere you want it to go. So there's considerations that you have to have. And on top of that, not only do you have
There were 2 types of hexes, right?
Mhm.
There were not hexes, but areas. There's what was it? The victory point and the other that needed the special forces, right?
the mosque. Yeah.
I believe it was the mosque. It's like because it's like that over there. Every other street had a damn mosque on it.
Yeah.
So we couldn't just worry about those things at all times. Of course, we tried to avoid them, but we would just drive past or steer away. We didn't have to have special forces with us to.
Yeah, but this is during the initial assault. This is the first week. So during the first week, that did have to be in consideration because during the initial assault, everything was a military target,
had to clear,
except for mosques until they fired from it. Then it was a military target.
And
so
see, that was horse crap anyway, because those mosques were full of RPGs. They were full of.
Oh no, they knew that, but it's just like anything else. Just like second Fallujah should never have happened. It should have been done in first Fallujah, but because we lacked the political balls to do anything right, we, fell prey to
the mosque,
Al Jazeera.
The mosque rule is just an optics thing. It's an optics
Sure.
rule.
Yeah.
But they take half the map is the problem. Like when you're looking at the map, half the map is mosque.
Yeah, but that's a consideration. But that's a realistic. You even said so yourself. That's a realistic depiction of what was there, and it's just another tactical consideration you have to deal with in the game, and that's fine because just like anything else, the other thing that you use with the Iraqis for is the deeper you penetrate into the city, you have to make sure that you have stay behind units for security because otherwise they can re-infiltrate. So that is another aspect of where the Iraqi forces can be used aside from the mosque. You can use them to drop them off to say you're pulling security here in this area, you're over in this area, so on and so forth, while the Marines and the Army, because there are some Army units in there as well, push through in the to the objectives and secure those for the win. So overall I think he did a great job with it, and it's real interesting, and I'd love to see a more detailed game on Fallujah because I think it would be a really interesting battle to cover.
What did you think about the rule that gave a penalty to combat if you had Marine and Army units in the same combat?
I thought that was fine. I thought it was fine because you're basically cross-pollinating with Army and Marines. You're going to have some communication issues, so there's going to be some delay or whatever. But everything I've read when it came to the way the Army and the Marines work together, they work together really well. And one of the things I thought was very telling was, remember during the initial assault, what was it, the 3rd day, 4th day, something like that? It was Marine Corps birthday, November 10th. So they got special dispensation from Iraqi forces to bring in I think it was 475,000 cans of beer or something like that for the Marines that were in country there. And they handed everybody that was coming off the line for downtime, they handed every Marine 2 cans of beer. Every soldier that came off the line, They handed him 2 cans of beer. Said, "You're one of us tonight because you're battling side by side with us. So you celebrate the Marine Corps birthday with us." So I think that right there shows that they did have,
Right.
the cooperation between the forces was very good. And I've never heard anything negative from either side about working together. But I'm sure there were definite command control issues that do happen when you have different forces operating with their own SOPs.
I'll tell you, the whole dry country bit was
Mhm.
BS because they wouldn't let us have any alcohol, but the ones that had the alcohol were the Iraqis. That's where we got any of the hooch that we got was from the people that actually lived there. They were the ones that were selling it.
You mean the Muslims that don't drink alcohol? Those guys?
Yeah,
Yes.
those were the ones who were selling it to us. So it's like we had to abide by their rules when they didn't even abide by their own damn rules. It's like, come the hell on.
I guess it must have been the tea. I don't know. I know Gary had COVID again. I don't know how he got it again.
Really?
I know I didn't get it.
Maybe he had a COVID shot.
The Marines always have command, Nordic. Always. The grand scheme,
Well, they're always in command.
Marine
Move
is
forward. Move forward.
It's like all right, so that stuff that going on in the Middle East right now, right? Iran was doing a whole bunch of crap, and politicians and other military leaders were putting out all these statements. And the Marine Commandant puts out a statement saying that if any of our forces are attacked, someone else will raise your children. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's a Marine mentality. So yes, we are in charge always.
So what was this, Fango? I'm catching up on comments here. Did it make recon units invaluable? I guess you're talking about air and armor. Yes, reconnaissance as a function in the game is invaluable, and then having your units that'll go up there and check out what's there, take the punch in the nose and maybe get knocked out, but at least find out what the forces are. Yeah, they're definitely invaluable.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Was there any air type of recon?
No, there was none of that in the game. No.
So you couldn't do a little flyover, take some pictures?
No. There was no ISR in the game that I recall. Any rule in the game that where there was that reflected in the game. And if you remember, and I'm going to go back to something else I was going to bring up, being we talked about Second Fallujah, is Phantom Fury Second Edition is coming out.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, some new stuff in there. Yeah,
there's some new stuff, and that has ISR in it, but it's you get Predator drones, you get 2 tanks, but it's all very limited.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things that I do find a little confusing and limiting in Phantom Fury, that you have this really tight timetable you got to get through, and it's similar in Second Fallujah. And I know what they're doing is they're just trying to get that 1 week and try to see how you do compared to the Marines did in real life. But it feels like, wow, I got to do so much in such a little bit of time, and I've got to do so many things with so few forces. It's like, no, that's not the way it would have worked. I mean,
yeah, totally. I mean, I think with Phantom Fury, the first one, it was just a game mechanic to balance, because to make it harder, right? Because really you would have had drones almost on station 24/7, right? So you would have had more perfect intel, better understanding of what the topography was when you're headed, up or down the building. I liked the top down, bottom up ability for breach and clear and all that sort of stuff. That was cool. And the random chip pull for am I fighting the diehards, or am I just fighting militia?
Yes,
that really made it kind of tense, and having to have Overwatch forces with not laws, but they
the other armored thing, and I can't think of the name right now.
Something, whatever they are.
Not the Maw, but small, but they was I forget the name what it was, but I know what you're talking about. The initial
AP4.
What were they called now?
It was some sort of HE warhead that was basically an ATGM.
Yeah, AT4 rocket. That's what.
But I mean, the team name was something else. I can't remember.
Yeah, they had a team name for them. It was like MAA something, or
MCATs or something like that.
Anyway, so I like that methodology, and someone posted on Board Game Geek that because it was a French guy that designed it, and it was a French mode of breach and clear, And then
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
some guy goes, "Nah, man, I was there. That ain't how we do it. That's not how we do it, and that's not how it's done." So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it's interesting.
Well, the other thing too is that's where they introduced, or not introduced, but they added in historically how the Marines would do it, because we've seen it even in 6 Days in Fallujah, where you can go from in some building, you go building to building, roof to roof,
Right.
and then you can flood down, because that's actually a great tactic if you can, just use that overwhelming force and momentum, that volume of fire and the rate of aggression downward. You can kind of, especially if you got any threat downstairs, they're looking down, and then you come down on top of them like, hammer anvil right then and there in that one building, and then you move on to the next building.
And their buildings are tight too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's easily able to jump from one to another because all their cities are built like right on top of each other.
So John Longshore has a great review of the Napoleon movie that's out. He says Napoleon is out. Well, it's more about Josephine's hoo-ha, but at least it has good battle scenes. Thank you for that in-depth review, Roger Ebert.
Yeah, poor old Napoleon didn't get along terribly well with the missus.
No.
Hopefully they didn't turn it into what was that, Pearl Harbor? You expected a movie about the attack at Pearl Harbor, and instead it was a three-way love story the whole way.
Right.
But there is one redeeming quality to that entire movie. Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If I'm going to watch for Kate Beckinsale, I'll watch the vampire movie.
Yes.
Evolution or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
my
But I mean,
God,
as far as if
yes.
you had to watch the movie, that's the one thing you can watch it for, at least.
But
But
the rest
yeah,
of it's crap.
is anybody planning on going to see the Napoleon movie?
I'm gonna wait. I'll wait for Netflix. I can't be bothered. I've already seen enough commentary on it. He said he didn't need to talk to any historians to create the movie. Well, there's a red flag. So and I hopefully it's epic, and I'm wrong, and I should go see it on a big screen. But I think I can wait. I'm good.
But didn't he get defeated by the same thing that's defeated so many others, which was the Russian winter? Wasn't that like his big downfall?
Yeah. Yes.
So
that
focus on the combat.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see. They don't want to see a freaking love story.
Right. Well, the love story, there's no love story. I mean, he was a philanderer. I mean, he was looking to, he was picking up women in Poland and having fun all the time. And Josephine's pining for the fjords in Paris.
Well, this is the guy that did the Joker, though, right? So
yes.
It's probably a great character.
Gladiator. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, his chops as an actor definitely not in question. Nor is Ridley Scott as a director. I love Ridley Scott's one of my favorite directors. But this one, and I'm not a Napoleonics guy, so not knowing Napoleonic history, I guess in a way here would be good, because I'm just like, oh, cool, horse charge, yay, cannon, yay, okay, cool. And then I read the history and go, that's not how that happened. Oh wow, that's
there's a scene where he shoots cannons at the pyramids, and everyone, and it's a metaphor for him conquering Egypt. Well, he kind of left North Africa with his tail between his legs. So
I didn't even know he went to Egypt.
They invaded. It was you may not like to read big books, but there's this cool book, if I can get it out here without breaking any.
Are there pictures in it?
There are no pictures, sorry. So Andrew Roberts wrote this book called Napoleon, and he's very positive about Napoleon. So if you're not a Napoleon fan, don't read the book. But he does a really good job of putting the full context around not just the battles and all the rest of it, all the stuff he did for society and for culture and science and the arts and everything that in some cases still relevant today in the world and in France in particular. So it's very cool. He was a fascinating individual, but beyond being one of the top 10 generals of all time, right?
Yeah.
It was the last time France was militarily relevant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, during that whole thing, I mean, when you look at all of the movies that are more popular, the TV series, Sharp's Rifles, Kev Sharp's Rifles, you've got that. Yeah. Exactly. You got Sharp's Rifles. You've got, what's the other one? Master and Commander. You've got what's his face? I just went totally brain dead. Hornblower.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
all those. Everybody talks about, oh, Boney's at it again, because they would call him Boney instead of Bonaparte
Right.
for Napoleon. And you always see that now. We're actually seeing Napoleon, because you don't see a lot of any of those war movies from the Napoleonic side, from Napoleon's side. So I think it's kind of cool to do that. You know, Rod Steiger did it before and all, but
Yeah. Rod Steiger was great in that movie.
Yeah. And I think something like this, Joaquin Phoenix, I'm not worried about his acting. I know he's going to be great. The only thing is, how far from history did he take the movie, Ridley Scott? I love his movie style. I love the way he filters his movies, and the style of his movies, the music, everything comes together beautifully. However, you don't want it to be too off the history if it's following someone historic. Now, Gladiator he had historic people, and then he made a fictional story about it. That's fine. Sure. You have the playground, the big playground there. But when you're following someone as widely known as Napoleon is, you're kind of restricted at that point. So
yeah, and I think for historical buffs and war gamers, you're going to be picky about it, just like we are with everything. You know, every time we see a war movie, we go, "Oh, that was a Sherman, not a T-34, etc." Exactly. I think Achilles has got a good point. He said, "Well, you know, I don't know that it's necessarily a good point, but he says that the French were relevant when they won World War One. I wouldn't say that they won it A, by themselves, or B, inclusively wouldn't have been able to win it without significant assistance, right?"
True.
Yeah.
So Stuka Joe says Gimpy is meaner now with all the Kickstarter frauds going on.
I did a couple of videos talking about the most recent Kickstarter frauds.
Did you? No.
No, really?
The issues with lock and load after I talked to them, and got the clear story. I know David ended up doing that little video or live session to tell people what was up.
I did a follow up as well. Good for you.
Everything should be good with them, I think, and hopefully they'll be delivering on Blood and Fury soon, because I'm looking forward to that one coming out.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it was just one of those things where we've all talked to him, we've all gotten the story, and he, brought it out to the public as well. It's just kind of a confluence of bad events come together and delay things. That it happens. But I also did explain to him a few years ago that when you're going in the Kickstarter, that's a completely different area than if you do a pre-order, because now you're taking people's money, and now you're on the clock. People are going to go, "Hey dude, you got my money. You said 6 months, a year, whatever. Now you're on the clock, and people are going to hold you to account." Unfortunately, some delays have caused issues, and hopefully that'll all get resolved pretty quick.
Well, that's why I had to get onto him. I almost got to hit him with the "I told you so." It's like, build in a buffer.
Yes.
Give yourself that time. People are fine with it being on time if you're a little bit later, whatnot, but give yourself that extra couple of months. Don't anticipate everything working correctly, because it won't. Inevitably, something will happen.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't think that. I think from one of the conversations I had with David a long time ago was he wanted to have the games ready, as in proofed and ready to go.
Ready to go. Mm-hmm.
Send it to the printer, and so before he sends it to the printer, then it's ready. Announce the Kickstarter, have it printed, and have it shipped. Right. So it would be literally a 3-month exercise versus a 12-month or an 18-month exercise. And I think what happened, as we have found out, is that there was either I don't know whether it was corners cut or miscommunications or poor proofing or poor design management or poor development or whatever the issues were. It just ended up that three of the games weren't as finished as he thought they were. And they caught a lot of shit, and that's what happens. And so, people, I don't know when the Kickstarter was. Was it a year ago, or was it 18 months? Or where are we at? I don't know. I don't know. So it doesn't feel like it's that long to me, and I'm not that worried about it. I think what's concerning for some people is that they've got 3 or 4 games outstanding with the company, and so it's $100, $100, $100, $100. So it's a bunch of money, and so I can respect that is disconcerting.
Yes.
But I think, assuming everything we know about David and everything that he's done to date stands, I think that everyone's going to see their games. And, like I said, if it was me, I would have told a bunch of these folks that are bitching and moaning like a bunch of, 12-year-old girls who want a new pair of shoes and eyelash extensions. I would tell them to go pound salt and or F off, right? And give them their money back and ban them from ever buying again. But that's probably not a great customer service model. So,
No.
No.
Well,
But I can agree with that. That's how you would feel, and I know I would feel that way. I'm like, there's a couple of people that are just being squeaky wheel.
Oh, totally.
Okay, there's a valid reason for the frustration, but okay, we heard it the first time. Here's our answer. This is what the delay is for. Not good enough. This is our answer. This is what's going on. Like it or not, this is reality. Oh, it's not good enough. But okay, here's your money back. Just go away. At that point, it's
literally just go away. You have nothing to complain about. Got your money back. You can go be negative person.
And then they'll buy it after, pay more money for the Kickstarter stuff that they would have got if they had waited, and they'll bitch about that. We're getting gouged.
Yeah, and then I punch the box before it gets shipped.
Part of the problem, though, is I do think part of it was optics, and it was just the way things timed out.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm wrong, I'll call him out. Like if bullshit happens, I have no problem calling him out.
Yep.
But I do think the timing, like the fact that he had to move because of his wife's job and whatnot.
Yeah.
And someone took that and ran with it and was like, oh, he spent the Kickstarter money on a house and blah, 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 blah. And the thing is I get why people are so, antsy about Kickstarters, because there has been so many things that have happened and so many companies have screwed the pooch or just flat out defrauded people. Like we saw from Devil Pigs here recently. They deliberately went out of their way to take people's money with no intention of ever, giving them what they paid for. That's just straight up fraud. So I can understand with that taste in someone's mouth, and then something else happens to another Kickstarter, for them to take it badly.
Yeah.
Right?
As I said to David, and on the video that I did, I said, look, completely piss poor communication skills by email and written word and all the rest of it. And then when you got onto the video, he's answering questions, and really what everyone wants to hear is, here's what happened, here's where we're at, here's what we're doing to fix things, all the things that went wrong, here's what's going to happen going forward, and here's the expected, planned, but not guaranteed delivery date. And then answer the questions, as opposed to waiting basically half the video with Devin typing in the background and punching the keyboard, and vacuum cleaners going off and dogs barking and all this sort of stuff. And then people just went, oh, I can't believe this is so unprofessional. It's like, what, dude? Stop, right? Like, get on, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them, and then shut up and get off, right? And then be done.
No, agree. You got to go in with a game plan. Explain it to them. First thing you got to do is do the mea culpa. Hey, you know what?
Screwed up.
I screwed up. I wasn't communicative enough with you guys, and that's on me. As far as the other issues, some I can see maybe taking some blame for, but some are, out of my hands, and here's why. You give the whole, you lay it all out there, buddy. And then people go, well, in fairness, that sucks. I could see myself. Moving. That's a pain in the, having to do that. Oh, that sucks too. And all this other stuff happening. It's like I said, it's just a bad confluence of events, and it wasn't handled as good as it could have been, but it's a learning experience, hopefully, for David. No improve.
Well, look, I'll give a personal example right now. So I have received, a couple of games that are complimentary, and I've said, oh, look, I'll be in the house by the end of October or Thanksgiving. Well, it's probably going to be the way things are going right now. It's probably going to be January. So I'm not. Then they're too big for me to do any meaningful playthrough with them. So, so there's an example of just simple circumstances, things out of your control that you can't mitigate, right? So sorry, you're not getting a video. You're not getting a gameplay unless you want me to fake it and do like, well, anyway, if you want, you know,
Really?
if you really want someone to actually play it, then you're going to need to wait. So
I think so.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Achilles, he said, you may have talked about this earlier, but before I got in here, but I'm interested in your thoughts on Red Strike. What's Red Strike? We've never heard of it.
Yeah, well, what is that game? Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. No, we haven't played it yet, but everything indicates that the components are amazing. Everything I've seen about the game, learned about the game, I'm really, really excited about it. Kev has the game already. He's already talked about it. There's the rule book right there. And he said he sung very brilliantly about the component quality, which if you have a VUCA game or have ever seen a VUCA game, you know what the component quality is going to be like. So strong recommend if you are into, I'll say this, if you're into the subject matter of Red Strike, it's a must buy. If you're into the subject matter of Red Strike, the hypothetical World War III, Iron Armor is a must buy. If you're into the Battle of the Bulge, The Last Gamble is a must buy. So there's 3 must buys right there, I would say. The other 2 are pre-orders. This one is available now.
Yeah. What? So Nordic has got a good question here about what games are we looking forward to. I'm trying to think what's coming up soon. I know GMT has got Panzer Africa, or whatever it's going to be called. That's coming. I don't know another war game from GMT that's releasing. I'm trying to think. What's Compass got coming in the short term? There's something from Compass that I was excited
British
about.
Tank Aces in the works.
Yeah.
British Tank Ace. You know, the other one was a Gills game. I think you were looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
Kaiser's High Sea Fleet, and then they have Europe in Turmoil, which is just on Kickstarter. That's basically Twilight Struggle kind of sort of game. Then they have the CSS Enemy at the Gates. Then there's World War II campaigns 40, 41, 42. So that one I think will be pretty neat. And then of course Iron Armor and Last Gamble, which will be out in the next several months. I would say it'll be 2024 for both of them, but should be really good.
What else has GMT got coming out that's war gamey? Like there's something else I can't remember. I can't be bothered pulling up the newsletter.
I haven't even looked at
I haven't read the newsletter, the last 2 newsletters.
Yeah, I didn't buy anything at the sale. I couldn't find any war games.
I bought 2 sets of counter trays.
Oh, yeah.
You can always use more counter trays because I had no games. I could have bought 2 things and I had nothing that they had that I wanted.
Yeah, I had 4 discount chits, but I didn't have an opportunity to use them.
North Africa 41. North Africa 41 was one I considered briefly, and I asked you about that, and then we had a little conversation. I was like, yeah, no, I'll pass for now. Maybe later. It wasn't something I needed to have now anyway. So
yeah, I think it's a good game. I'm waiting to see how it plays opposed. As soon as I finish the game, I'm playing online with my buddy. We're doing Multi-Man Publishing's The Last Stand for Moscow. I think we've got 2 turns left of that, so we'll move once the Basel module's out for North Africa 41. We'll start playing that. So
nice.
I'll tell you, there's one coming out if you're into digital. Broken Arrow coming out by Slithering Games.
Oh, really?
Modern Times. It's similar to like Steel Division, right? That you're controlling your forces RTS style, but it's more accurate. Like forces have limited supplies, limited ammo, armor represented, tanks stronger in the front, air forces, whatnot. And you have single player and multiplayer. So either way you want to go with it. But I did the demo of that when they had that going back a few months, and it was really, really awesome. I had a really good time with that, and it's releasing here soon. So if you're into digital games, definitely one to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Nice. Old School Tactical has nothing. Sorry, not the Old School. Flying Pig has nothing coming out. They've got only that OST title, which is the Mediterranean.
Yeah,
but that's quite a ways out. Revolution got anything coming soon? Let's see.
I think they have a sale on right now, don't they?
They do have a sale. Yeah, a good sale.
Now this is one that I'm curious about.
A bunch of Lupin games.
The Angola remake about the American Revolution in Carolina, because I really dig that Angola system.
Yep.
But I prefer that more modern. Let's see. What do they got? Revolution. Let's take a look at Revolutions.
Yeah, having played now against the designer of Angola, I'm less enamored with it. It was over in 2 turns.
I know you lost some interest in it. Yeah.
Well, Revolution has a whole bunch of
What do they
Lutman's
got here?
games.
Yes, they do.
And Eagles in
And they
the
have
Sky.
that. They have Stalingrad Advance to the Volga, which a lot of people have liked. Greater Victory.
Yeah.
That's of an army
game, right?
Yes.
I forget what it's called. It's got a name.
Area Impulse.
Yeah, no, it's a series. The same system built on a series. I forget what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter. Not relevant. What is Death of an Army?
Death of an Army. I think that's Carrie
World War
Anderson's,
I.
right?
Huh.
Yeah, it's Carrie Anderson's Death of an Army. Yep.
Interesting.
1914.
Nice looking map.
Warsaw, 1920. Day Was Ours. Thunder at Dawn. Deadly Woods. Corregidor, 1945. Fury at Midway. I don't see any sales on that. Where's the sale? Here's the November sale. Oh, no. I guess it is. It doesn't break it down by sale. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, just
normally has a sale page.
What else was exciting coming? Well, Multiman's got some, I think, OCS Korea. Not Korea. Crimea is coming out.
Crimea.
Crimea. That should release pretty soon. And obviously, Valley of Tears just came out.
Mm-hmm. Did you get that?
Oh, yeah. I actually saw it set up, and it looks super interesting. I'm impressed that the system can translate to the modern warfare. They did a really cool job with the air war. It translates pretty well, and then ATGMs are kind of worked out well as also. So I think it's going to be great. We'll see. I've seen Joel Toppin has been playing a lot of it lately, posting about it, and he seems to like it a lot. I have not set it up. I have read the system rules, the module rules. Yeah.
So Nordic says that he picked up under the Southern Cross from GMT sale. Next sale, he's going to aim for the next War Series.
Smart.
Recommend on that.
Yeah, big plus there. So Mitch Land does a great job.
He does. It's a great series. That's one of the few auto buys for me.
Yeah.
From GMT. It's like it's out, I buy it.
And next War Iran is going to be awesome. It's a great game. I've played it with Ralph. It's very good.
Nice. Gimpy, you're quiet. Sales?
Listening to you guys. I didn't jump onto any of their sales. MP.
Yeah, me either.
Decision. I couldn't do it. I'm putting money towards Christmas gifts for the kids. So I'm at that stage of my life.
So Broken Arrow devs are calling for beta testers.
Ooh.
They did that a little while back. I don't know that they're doing it again. They might be, though. I might have missed the email on that one.
Possible.
Oh, yes. Winter's Victory is coming.
Winter's Victory coming.
Yeah, from New
just say Winter's Victory is coming. That's right.
New England Simulations.
Yes.
And then what's
that
his name?
Looked really good.
Yeah,
I saw that at Compass Expo.
Oh, did you?
And
really?
I'm not a Napoleonics guy, and I was like, wow, that's a really pretty game. That's a really pretty game.
And the European company's also got an ILAO game out.
Yeah.
I forget what the name of that company is.
Was talking.
I ordered it. Uvo, Valentin or something.
Yes.
Valentin or something like that. I can't remember his name. What's the name of his company? Like War Stories or War?
Not War Stories.
Oh shit! So bad. So many people.
We're so unprofessional.
No, well, I can't keep track of all these guys.
Death of an Army is real good. And then Brian says Flying Pigs should be kickstarting Rock of Chickamauga in December. Chickamauga.
Oh, that's right. That's going to be another monster game, right?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's scary.
I always wanted to try that one. Charlemagne. Never got around to it though.
Charlie Man.
Yeah.
And Brian finally found a copy of Ardennes 2 and the price that he was willing to pay. So it was under $1,000.
Sound of Drums is the name of the company.
Sound of Drums. Okay.
Yeah.
So what other games here? Let's see. Who else is the Sound of Drums? Yep.
Very cool.
All the publishers, Mander says, I wish all the publishers would do their sales somewhere in the year other than right before Christmas. Yeah, that's a good point. It would be nice if they were staggered, but this is their big sale part of the year too. That's where they need to get their end of the year sales, get their stock out and make as much money as they can before they close the books for the year. And unfortunately, it happens to be where we have to buy presents for everybody else too.
See, that's the thing, though. It's the demographics. You got to think about who's buying your games, and it's mainly the dads that are buying the games.
True, and you should do it in old.
Get for ourselves, you know.
You should do it in old Bugs Bunny fashion. One for you, one for me.
No.
Two for you, 1, 2 for me. So I just bought 2 presents, bought 3 for myself.
I think they do better with like a summer sale or something like that.
I really think so too. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, take it away from the
Memorial Day. Yeah.
Because honestly, I have to start saving this month previous just so I can make sure I've got enough to take care of all the kids and all that crap. Because Christmas is a huge deal when your kids are all under 8 years old. You know.
Yeah. Well, whose fault is that? You could stop breeding, right?
No, I couldn't.
Yeah, and here's a good point, which is true, and I do like this. Compass runs theirs till the end of January, so you could get yours ahead of time, or you could wait till after Christmas and you go, you know what, I got a couple hundred I can spare after bills are paid, so or I get some Christmas money from somebody, and hey, let me go spend it. You got till the end of January, so that's not a bad deal.
Look at long shows coming. I should buy my wife a game and wrap it up and give it to her.
Here you go, honey. Here's a beautiful copy of Red Strike. Oh, what is it? It's heavy.
Oh, honey,
is it
it's so heavy.
Yeah, they're shoes. That's true. So, what else does anybody have as far as what they're looking for a sale now before we close out the sale conversation?
I didn't even know OSG had a sale. Yeah, so there you go.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that sale.
I've got so much stuff to cover as it is. I'm not looking to pick up anything extra just yet. Beginning of next year, I will be. After hearing about Iron Armor, I'm definitely looking forward to that one now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I really do think it's gonna be a really good game. The only drawback is you're going to hear a lot of moaning about the page count on the rule book. 150 pages, man. What the hell?
Reading, it's a skill.
Yeah, I know. RTFM. It is what it is. If you want to play that game, this is what the lift is on the game. If you don't want to go play that, go play a 2 or 3 page game. That's fine.
Is it still broke down into basic and advanced rules?
No, and there's also not going to be the veteran summary like there was before. So
good,
but you're still going to be able to read it as a veteran wargamer, and you're going to understand a lot of it. But it also tells you as a veteran wargamer, don't make assumptions on things. Read the rules, because don't think, well, this is what I've seen that in other games. It might not necessarily be the same in this game that it is in others. Yeah. So
I think they'd be better served having like the core rules and then having the advanced rules. It kind of breaks it down in your mind in a way to absorb a smaller piece. Get that and then bring in the extras into it. I think it's easier than trying to look at a college textbook and realize you got to commit this to memory.
But Gimpy, then you got to play like 5 times. Let's just set the campaign up and go for it. And we screw it up, we'll reset and start again. The only reason I'm playing small scenarios of bigger games as a learning exercise is because I don't have the room for the bigger ones. I'd much rather just set it up and get after it.
Yeah. No, it's true. Now let me see here. I'm going to double check. There's the way the rule book breaks down is you have introduction game components. Then you have your glossary, unit counter, step markers, game markers, formations, and then the game overview. That starts on page 24, and that's going to explain to you the action cycles, operations,
Right.
your playing pieces, everything else. Then we get into your units, the type of units, unit assembly, hidden intelligence, which is your not knowing what you've got or they've got, dummy units, all that stuff. Then we get up to page 35, and that's where you get into your headquarter units and chain of command. Operations start on page 43. Then you get into your stacking restrictions, zones of control, ground movement, rivers, artillery strikes, air units, fire combat, attack helicopters, utility helicopters, anti-aircraft fire, reaction, reconnaissance, fire support, and then putting it all together on page 105. And then air mobile forces, headquarters units, electronic warfare, off-map participation, shatter, night, engineering, military bridges, so on and so forth. You know, all these things are broken down.
So it's highly abstract then.
No, very, very abstract. It's like a Euro, just has a couple of meeples and you push it around. And,
Yeah. Push a block down, put a block down, take a block away.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think, Gippy, I think you'll like it too.
No, I'm sure I'll like it. It's just, I know it's going to be daunting. I'm going to sit down in front of that huge rule book and just kind of zone out. So it's going to have to be a couple of learning scenarios in there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Mark Herman working on an Empire of the Sun type game, but in the Mediterranean World War II? I am not aware of this. I know he was working on the one World War III hypothetical game. I'm not sure about a med game, though. And he's also got the
It's got that Ukraine war thing
Ukraine
going.
game.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any information on that game right there, that probably GMT, I would assume, is going to be putting out that game, go ahead and put it in the chat, because I know nothing about it myself. There's a paragraph about Emmerich and Chadwick releasing an update kit for Thunder in the East.
Yeah.
Well, they've
Yeah,
been
I
saying
saw
that for
post
years.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
They were saying that for years, though, that because they need it, to get that. But
Well, the
so
rules have changed so much.
now, last round of what we're thankful for. Nate, you started.
Why you always got to start with me?
I didn't start with you last time, so I'm going to you this time.
I'm thankful for
War game wise.
hell, I don't know. I'm thankful for air and armor now. Looking forward to that. All right, here's one thing. And this, I'm actually going digital again. I finally got to try Combat Mission a little while back. And it was the newest version they've got, Fortress Italy. And I really like that game. Actually, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And it was a lot easier to learn than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool.
I'm looking forward to trying some more of that, actually, the
Nice.
modern version. So, Combat Mission.
Nice.
Thankful for that.
What about you, Kev?
I'm thankful for clear and concise rule books. I'm appreciating them more and more. So I think there've been some amazingly obtuse rule books this year, but then also some really good ones stand out. And Herman Lutman does a good job. Based on my reading of Red Strike, Eves has done a good job so far. So, guys like that. And, less red ink saying important note.
More important.
Yeah, more important. I like decision games. Less of that and more just clear, concise rules.
Yeah.
Be awesome. Yeah. So I'm thankful for that. Yeah.
Agreed. I would say that a couple things that I'm really thankful for. Well, number one is you two and having this show has been a great fun time for the past 4 years. Really have enjoyed it.
Has it been 4 years?
Yeah. In January, it'll be 4 years. And the audience, everybody that tunes in and sends us comments, posts it on the video feed, that interacts with us online, that's just an amazing thing. We really appreciate that and appreciate you guys taking your time to watch and join in the chat and be part of the show. It's a lot of fun. The other thing I want to say is the content creators, all of the content creators, and that doesn't mean you have to have an official YouTube channel. Everyone does. If you have an account, you have a YouTube channel. That doesn't mean you have to have 5 million viewers. It's just anybody who sits down with their phone, their camera, whatever, and they post something, or they post it online. They post an AAR with pictures or without, just text. If they do a video playthrough, they do a little review or an opinion piece on something, or they do a piece of history on a game that they're playing. Anything that puts out, anybody that puts out any type of content for war games, really appreciate your efforts. And that it's so much fun to find stuff that, all the usual suspects. You go in there and you watch their stuff, and then you see somebody like, well, who's this? What's this? Oh, this is an interesting subject. And you watch and you're like, wow, this is really good. And a person's like, well, I only got 12 subscribers and I did it with my camera phone. It's like, it doesn't matter. The content quality was fantastic. So I strongly recommend anybody who's even thinking about it, take your phone, put it down on a little tripod, shoot a video, get a camera, shoot a video, be part of it, because we all appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what we need. More competition.
Oh yeah, for all the YouTube monies.
Yeah.
All $1.28.
Yeah. Crazy cash.
But no, seriously, it's great to see that. And I'd love to see the designers getting, even more involved with the people out there online and working with the content creators as well to try to get their message out about their games and all of it. We're just in a really, really good time. And I've got to kind of push that. I got 6 Actuals t-shirt here that he gave me at Compass Expo while he was talking about Cactus Air Force. So, and all the other games he's got lined up, which is really, really cool.
That's awesome. That is really awesome.
This is true, Stuka. More games than ever. And a lot of fantastic ones. Plus one of content creators, even Stigler. And let me tell you something about Stigler. He has the most amazing decision games content there is. He is the go-to guy for decision games.
Wow.
I'm going to duck now.
So wrong. And he knows how to spell Ezok.
He does. It's EZOC. It's not a Zoc. It's a ZOC. It's a Zoc. This is true. Okay, so I'm just checking the comments here to see if anybody... This is great. I think we're all thankful for this.
Yeah, really.
Thankful that your wife hasn't killed me yet for all the games that he's burned. Buy her a pair of shoes. It'll all be good. And I say that in jest because, the wives put up with our silly hobbies, but at least they know where we're at. We're in the other room rolling dice and cursing at the damn dice gods and going, This rule is stupid.
Exactly.
So that's going to be it for our show. If you guys have any last comments here before we wrap it up, I'll let you guys.
Before we do sign off, I do want to make sure and mention that make sure you guys tune in next month because I will be doing a couple of giveaways for Christmas, like I always do. So y'all stay tuned for that. Make sure you jump on the show. We'll see what we have to pass out in Christmas spirit.
Yeah, we'll have some here next month too for our annual Christmas show. It was giveaway games too, so we'll have some lined up for that as well.
Very nice.
Kev, what do you got coming up on your channel?
I have no idea. I literally have no idea. Who knows? I've got some blood and iron, and that's all I know.
I'm waiting for that to come in.
That's all I know.
So I'm looking forward to that too. Nate, what else do you got coming up on your channel?
The rest, 20th Air Force, the rest of A&A Market Garden.
Nice.
20 Strong, Uprising, Silent War. When I get to that one, and I am one to do Crossing the Line as soon as I get a chance to. So I got a bunch of stuff in the lineup to get done.
Nice. And Meandering Mike has a game giveaway on his channel. So go check out his channel. If you're not already subscribed, go do so right now and get in on that game giveaway. And what do we got here? We got favorite quote this year, supposedly Nappy 3's last words at Sedan. We were not cowards. So that will be it. I just making sure that I didn't miss anything. Nope, I did not. So we've got on my channel, I think I'm going to take a week off because just released 2 or 3 videos for Red Strike. So
just
that was
40, right?
Yeah, that was a project. And the next one, next big project will be Air and Armor, and then Last Gamble as well, doing something similar. I don't know the video count on those yet. That'll all be dependent on the designers, what they want, how they want to break it down, and things like that. So, but there's more coming on those, and I will have some other videos up here soon. Hopefully, I can get something played this weekend, and maybe even shoot something of a playthrough or a review or something I can squeeze in if possible this weekend. But I'm definitely trying to sleep as much as possible this weekend.
Yeah.
been burning it at both ends for a while, and I'm feeling it. But anyway, hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your friends and family. Get some wargaming in, and as Kev always says, roll dice. And as Gimpy always says, don't back anything on Kickstarter. Just kidding. Have a great night, guys. We will see you next month for our Christmas show. Have a great night, everybody.